Well, hey there folks, welcome back once again to the Hop House. It's Eddie here. It's time for another beer review, and today we are carrying on with some budget beers. So these are beers that I picked up actually in Home Bargains of all places. So if you are, and there are people out there that are feeling the pinch, and so what I wanted to do is give you an idea of maybe some craft beers that are better for your budget if you are having to cut back on certain things. Again, like I say, a lot of people are. Now if you're brand new to this channel, welcome along to the Hop House. Call that like hoppy beer, like house music, if you like either of those or both. Then give us one of those, give us a like, share, subscribe to this channel if it sounds like your cup of tea. Okay, I just did one of those off-axis Bruco beers with a really funky can with loads of eyes and spaceships on. Hop the Light Fantastic. Bit of a cheesy name for a beer. But it was decent, it was alright, I give it a thumbs up just about. It didn't taste too bad. It did taste like it was actually hopped with something rather than load of artificial gunk in there. So up next, I've got three beers from another brewery that is, I believe, a made-up name, but I believe, from what I've read, that it's made by an actual brewery. Hey! Do you want to see what I'm going to review then? Okay, so this is the first one. There was three under this brand name in my Home Bargains, so I thought I'll pick up all three. These were, I think these were $1.79 a can. So they're a bit more expensive than the off-axis, and the Flex, the Siren Bruco Flex is £2.09. I recommend that all day of the week. It's my favourite Siren brewery. When it got into my beer of the year in my live stream for my second birthday of the channel, so I'd say go get Siren Flex. You can get it in B&M as well, $1.99, 10p cheaper. But this is from Glenn Cannich Brewery, and this is called Sorcha. It's a pale ale coming in at 4.8%. 440ml can. Looks a bit more traditional actually. Looks like it's a barrel of beer or something like that. Or it looks something you find in an Irish pub. But it is Glenn Cannich. Sorcha for Scottish, from Scottish Gaelic mean light and radiant. So there you go. Now, I've heard through the grapevine, and again big shout out to the Witchwood Goblins and the Brewskis, my two beer groups that I'm in on Facebook. This is brewed by Glen Brewery. They've put beers into Home Bargains before, and I believe that this is brewed under contract by them. Now, Glen have two sites. One is way up Inverness Shire, up in the north of Scotland, hence the Glen, and the other one is on the Wirral in Birkenhead area, Merseyside. I don't know what that's got to do with Africa, but they've got two sites. So which site this is brewed at, I don't know. Maybe the Scottish one, because Lidl seem to go with Scottish beers on their craft beer festival. So maybe things are cheaper than the same. The further up north you go, the cheaper it is. Right, I'm going to shut this and pour that. The can had expanded then, but luckily it didn't bubble over. I'm using my beer co glass as well, so I don't use this enough. Sorry, I've just washed it out if you see a bit of water on it. Oh, this doesn't look good. I've heard nightmares about this being oxidised. Look at that. Oh dear. Oh. That looks like a bit of a brown mess. It looks really dark and brown, and then there's like some light there. I think this is not going to be very good. I've heard a lot of issues with these beers being oxidised. Certainly got a very dark colour. I don't like the colour at all. It looks a bit like dirty dishwater. It's got a decent white head on it though. A bit of lacer vision. See what laces. It's lacing alright. Yeah, I mean, have they purposefully put darker malt bill in there? This is weird because it's supposed to be pale ale. Now traditional pale ales, you look at your traditional pale ales, a pale ale used to be pale as in it's pale and see-through, but they were still quite dark and amber colour, so they were almost like a bitter, but they were classed as a traditional pale ale. So you're looking at things like Spitfire and Bass Ale, if you ever had Bass Ale. They're almost like bittery kind of colours. They were the traditional pale ales because they were paler than a black beer, which was a stout or a porter. And then I think along the lines it got changed to best bitters and this, that and the other. So that does it. I don't even know what it looks like. It doesn't look very good. Not for a crafty beer anyway. Right, let's get some aroma, put that into there. Let's give it a whiff, see what we can sniff. Smells a lot better than it looks. I'm getting some bitiness out of that actually. I'm getting some lemon, lime, grapefruit, bit of pininess. Maybe a bit of bitter orange. It's not sweet though, it doesn't smell like it's mango, pineapple, that kind of jobber. It is a bit more interesting. Should we try it? Bottoms up, down the hatch. No. The body and the mouthfeel, decent. Like that. It's very soft, quite sort of medium-ish body. But the flavour profile, the flavours, I don't know what an oxidised beer is supposed to taste like. I don't really know much about it. But it just doesn't look very pleasant. It's trying. It's trying. I think maybe they've put some darker malt in this, maybe to up the ABV a little bit, so they don't have to put as much hops in. Of course, they're brewing this for a budget. If it is Glen Cannich, I know you can do better than this. I've not been overly impressed with Glen Cannich beers, but I've had some okay ones, I've had some decent ones. This isn't one of those, in my opinion. These are all my opinion, by the way. I'm not a brewer, I don't work in the industry. I'm just a fat lad in a kitchen. I think I'd rather buy the off-axis over this. Just doesn't look appealing, does it? It's got a big enough head, like. Looks like a... I'll tell you what this looks like now, with the size of that head and the colour of the beer. It actually looks like a Czech granite beer, which is like a dark malt lager. Which was lovely when I went to Prague a few years back. I was on the Staropram and Granite and the, is it Kozel? Lovely beers. But it sort of looks that colour. It doesn't really look like a hoppy pale ale, I have to admit. I'm not keen on that. Flavour wise, it's trying some bitterness. There's a little bit of spikiness there. It does taste a bit more traditional. So when the bitterness hits you down the sides of the tongue, it tastes a bit twiggy and grassy rather than New World hops. And then at the back end, there is like, it's trying to be pine, but it's also meeting that down the middle of the tongue, it's quite malty, like sweet malty. So the sweet and this like trying to be pine needle is at the back end battling with each other. And it does dry your mouth out, to be honest. That's kind of what it alludes to. It's a bit of a mixture of a beer. I think that's a bit of this, bit of that. We'll chuck a bit of this and that in there and hope for the best for the price that we're brewing it for. Sorcha Pale Ale. See what it says then. We have got some writing on there, look. See that? Got that. Excuse me. Sorcha is our flagship pale ale. Brewed to be refreshing and balanced, a biscuit malt base combines with citrus, chinook and eureka hops, creating floral and citrus notes to make a perfectly sessionable pale. Does it say who Glen, whatever they are? Glenn Cannich Inverness-shire, IV4. TGM Limited, Belfast. So, I don't know what the postcode is for the Glen Cannich Brewery, but I'm guessing that is made at their Scottish site. I know it's Inverness-shire, so I'm putting 2 and 2 together. I could be getting 5 here, but from the rumours I've heard, Glen Cannich brew this Do I really think it's got citrus chinook? And I don't know what Eureka hops taste like. Is that a New World hop? Is it an old school hop? It just doesn't look right, does it? It really doesn't look right. Maybe it has been oxidised. See, the body in the mouth feels nice. It's just the flavour's just a bit all over the place. Twiggy, trying to be pine. There's that weird malt that comes in from down the middle of the tongue. It has got a biscuit malt. You're right about that. It's not for me. It's not. I would pick the off-axis over that. So, Glenn Afrix or Glenn Cannich, Sorcha. Sort yourself out. No, thumbs down. That's going to hopefully clean my kitchen sink out. No, not a fan. That aftertaste is gnarly. Thank you very much for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Pick it up if you want to see what it's like. £1.79. I'd rather save about 20p and get the off-axis jobby. Thanks for watching though, and we've got, oh God, I've got a couple more from this brewery. Christ alive. See you in a bit. Ciao for now, people. Not good.